All right, in 3M2, these get a little bit trickier because you're actually drawing mechanisms. So here, I'm just gonna go through these ones with you. We'll do this as a whole class lecture, but in case you were absent that day. So, as you can see, I filled out this mechanism for you, but not chlorine. Chlorine is in group 17, so that means it has 7 valence electrons. And then we'll draw its Lewis dot structure. Now, Na has 1 valence electron, so its Lewis dot individually just looks like that. Chlorine, we need to draw 7 of these. Now, sodium is a metal, so it's going to lose. And chlorine, it's going to be a lot easier to gain 1 than it is going to be to lose 7 to get to that full shell. So that's going to be a 1 right here. These numbers are always going to be identical in the bond. Unless you need 2 of 1, but we'll get to that later. So, the charge on the ion here, it's going to gain 1, so it'll gain a negative. This typically confuses people, but if you lose an electron, you're losing a negative charge, so you'll actually have a positive. If you gain it, you got an extra, so you have a negative charge. And then we draw the mechanisms, which I'm going to go through when it's not already drawn in on beryllium. So, beryllium is in group 2. It has 2 valence electrons. Its Lewis dot structure just looks like this. Remember, we don't put them next to each other if we don't have to. It's going to lose electrons because it too is a metal, and it will lose 2 of them to form a 2+ ion. Oxygen has 6 valence electrons. It's going to look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll have 2 unpaired, which means it's going to gain 1 electron in each of those spots for a total of 2 electrons gained, and that'll be a 2- charge. So here is what that mechanism looks like. I'm going to draw my valence electrons on Be, and then I'm going to draw them on O, and I'm going to line up, if possible, these electrons. So this electron is going to go to pair with this one, and this will go with that electron. So you write the arrows to where it'll pair. Then what that looks like is this Be is -2 electrons, so you put those 2 stars where they used to be, and this O now has a full shell of 8. So what that looks like is this will be 2+, and then you will write O 2-. So we can write that Cl2 here. Cl-. So, going through the next one, here, potassium has 1 valence electron, chlorine has 7. K, Cl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 and 1. It'll lose because it's a metal, and then this one will gain. The charge on the ion is 1- and then 1+. So if we're drawing the mechanism here from scratch, K and Cl, and then you start with the valence electrons. Draw your arrow pointing to the unpaired electron. The next one is K with a star because it's now negative, and Cl has the full shell. So when you write out that full mechanism, it is K+, and then Cl-. So I want you to try the next ones on your own.